Hey everyone, I'm Arica Leonard. I am a wife, mother of four, and a pastor sitting before you today, a little bit nervous to bare my soul and share with you my faith story. So I thank you in advance for your love and your grace. From a very young age, I began hearing God speak to me. I'll never forget when I was in second grade, my grandfather had passed away, and it was after his funeral. I was laying in my bed and sobbing, kicking and screaming, and I heard God audibly say to me, "It's going to be okay. He's with me, and I'm with you." And I'll never forget that moment as long as I live. It was the beginning of a journey for me of really understanding that life isn't about religion, but it is really about a relationship. And people in my family then and still today call me a Jesus freak. And I wasn't proud of it then, but I can say I'm proud of it now. But in the midst of all of these times, unfortunately, I allowed the world to overpower me, and I gave in to my temptations and my impulses versus God's desires and His plans for my life. In high school, I was not the perfect Christian. I was never the perfect Christian, for that matter. Although I taught Sunday school and I was a camp counselor and I was very involved in children's ministry. As a teenager, there were times that I really strayed off the path and I hurt people. I made some really poor choices. And quite frankly, at times, my life and my decisions were really a mess. Through it all, I never did lose my faith in God. I attended college at UW-Stevens Point, and it was there that something happened in my life that turned my life upside down and shook me to my core. I felt a shame so powerful that at times I couldn't even breathe. And the crazy thing about life is that God never promises that it's going to be easy, but He does promise to give you a path that is filled with hope, a path where you're never alone, and a path that even in the midst of terrible pain, He's going to be there. And so in the midst of all of that, I found myself running towards Him, and I'm so grateful that I didn't run away. One of my biggest hurdles has been to define my worth, my value, and my entire existence on who God says I am, rather than believing the lies that the world tells me I am. True forgiveness is so real and so powerful. And I love that verse from Romans 8 that says there is no condemnation for those who belong to Jesus Christ. And because you belong to Him, the power of life, the power of the life-giving Spirit has freed you from the power of sin that leads to death. To me, that verse is so beautiful, and it just frees me, and it frees my soul from all of the guilt and the shame and the condemnation that I've allowed to define me for so many years. I can honestly say as I sit here before you today that I truly have allowed the grace of God and the forgiveness of God to wash me white as snow. And I don't live in the guilt and the shame of my past choices. There have been other very pivotal moments in my life where I've been shaken to the core of who I am. Moments when I was so down, I didn't think I could get back up. Moments when I had to make choices over and over again to trust in what I said I believed in, to forgive others like I have been forgiven, and to love others like God loves me. People who've known me in my younger years have often said, "Wow, I can't believe you're a pastor." And to that I say, I know, right? I can't either. But isn't God amazing? If He can use me, He can use anyone. The Bible is full of misfits just like me, who God uses, and God has chosen to make a difference in the world. I struggle in my marriage at times. I'm not the perfect mother. My kids are not perfect, and I mess up a lot. But every morning I wake up and I say, "Lord, make me more like You." This is not an easy thing to say, and it's not an easy way to live either. Since beginning ministry especially, I've experienced betrayal and judgment and condemnation and temptations in ways that I never dreamed were possible. But with that said, I've also experienced true reliance and trust on God. And He's given me confidence that I'm doing the right thing, that I am making the right choices and doing my very best to see others through His eyes. The truth is, it's much easier to live the human life rather than the spiritual journey with God. But for me, the rewards far outweigh the difficulties. And heavenly experiences that I have here on earth, when I realize them, continue to take my breath away every single time. I am far, far from perfect, but I am free, and I am loved, and I am precious in God's sight, and you are too. I encourage you to believe it. I encourage you to live it, and I encourage you to know it for yourself, because it's real, and it sets you free.